This week's best MMA bets, we're talking UFC Austin, Kattar versus Emmett. It's a fantastic card. I see some really good betting opportunities, and I'm looking forward to breaking it down. Make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn those post notifications on, and share the video as well. We'll start it off with the locks, then we'll jump to the dogs, some extra props, and the parlays. So lock section to start it off here. Lock number one, I'm actually going to have Calvin Kattar at the top. I think he wins in the main event, and I think he looks good doing it. I see advantages him overall against a game as hell Josh Emmett, certainly. But I see Kattar with the W. Now, looking towards the lines here, you see the tag around that minus 230 range for Calvin Kattar. He could be found a little bit better around minus 224. Most likely, it's around minus 230. Money line, I think he's a pretty decent attack. Definitely a parlay style addition. I see him getting the hand raised. How does he do it? I'm going the knockout side of things. So if we look towards the KO prop for Calvin Kattar, plus 190 for that. Definitely could hit. I know some people are on the decision side, but I feel like Kattar's going to get Emmett out of there. We've seen Emmett hurt in fights, and Kattar can definitely do damage here. Plus 190, Kattar by KO, TKO. I'm predicting a second to fourth round stoppage, kind of liking the third. If you do go that over 1.5, ugly line, minus 155, or excuse me, minus 355. So the over-unders here, I'm not too pleased by. I'd rather go Kattar money line or Kattar by KO. Under 4.5. Slight plus money around plus 115. I personally don't like it. Give me Calvin Kattar money line or attack that KO prop. I think he's going to knock Josh Emmett out somewhere around rounds 2 to round 4. Good fight. Let's jump to the next lock. It's going to be Kevin Holland, our guy. You got to love Kevin Holland. He's minus 255 as the favorite here in this spot. Best place to play him, SAI, minus 280 over at Bet Online and my bookie. I feel like Kevin Holland's game is going to be tricky for Tim Means to deal with. He's got a length advantage. I do think he's the better striker of the two, definitely the quicker guy. Tricky with his subs. Tim Means has been caught in those front headlocks at times. I think he's a bit hittable with straights. He can duck that head into that guillotine position. I think Kevin Holland can get him out of there. I think he's going to hurt him on the feet. I like him money line. Granted, it's a wide line, parlay type piece. If we're looking at playing a bet, Holland inside of the distance plus 160 range to me seems to be a smarter play because I feel like club and sub is fairly likely here. Holland by KO sitting around plus 200 to plus 220, but Holland by submission, find it at plus 600. Actually, it's upwards of plus 700. So the line is extremely wide if you're going Kevin Holland by straight submission. Maybe more likely he gets the knockout. Fair likelihood of either happening. So inside of the distance, I think is your safer prop attack. But I like Kevin Holland to win straight with a lot of confidence. And if he got a decision, I wouldn't be shocked either. So for me, money line is your best bet. Inside distance, secondary option. And then maybe a parlay type piece with Kevin Holland on it. That's what I like. And we'll talk parlays at the end. And I do have Holland in a couple of them. Kevin Holland for the win. One of the locks and one I'm very excited to see. I'm a fan of Kevin Holland, as I believe the majority of fight fans are. Let's jump to the next lock. It is Adrian Yanez. I think he's going to beat Tony Kelly. Kelly and Yanez, odds for Yanez minus 275. So he's a pretty good size favorite against a tricky Tony Kelly. Kelly's not an easy fight at all. You look at the way he beat up Randy Costa in that fight. He had an easier time than Yanez did. Now, MMA math does not work. Kelly plus 260 dog. I like Adrian Yanez to get the hand raised though, and I am leaning the distance side. Over a round and a half is minus 200. Kelly has a pretty tricky kickboxing game, but he's pretty competent in every area. He's a well-rounded fighter, good kicks. For me, I think Yanez by decision is the official pick, but he definitely has the power in his hands to get it done. If he caught Tony Kelly, it's not impossible, but Kelly hasn't been finished before. He's not an easy guy to deal with. He's a game out, and I see him going all three, and I see Yanez by decision as an extremely likely method of victory for him. Plus 185. I like unanimous decision. Adrian Yanez, I think he's the crisper striker with the better hands, and I think he's going to touch up Tony Kelly. But Kelly will be live for the 3 rounds. He's going to be there. I think he'll be putting the pressure, trying to fight Yanez. Even if he's getting touched up, there's not going to be quit in Tony Kelly. So I like plus 185, Yanez by decision. Money line Yanez, potential parlay addition, definitely. He's a great lock and one I'm feeling really good about, even with the line as wide as it is. The next lock, this one is the ugliest lock of the card. It's going to be Cody Stamann over Eddie Wineland. Wineland's just far out of his prime at this point. You can see minus 485, best value for Cody Stamann. But I like, Eddie Wineland's really far out of his prime, but Cody Stamann's on a 3-fight losing streak too. So like the line is hideous here, but Wineland's looked bad. 2 back-to-back knockout losses. He was winning the John Castaneda fight before he got caught though. But he's very hittable. The chin is up high. I think he's there to be knocked out. I know Stamann doesn't finish fights often, but he should get a finish here. I'm going to go Stamann to win by KO. Looking at Stamann by KO plus 235, it's not a great line for a guy who doesn't get knockouts. Stamann to win by a decision, minus 130, plus 100 best value. I feel like he can get Wineland out of there. I feel like Eddie Wineland's going to get caught by a left hook, a lead hook by Cody Stamann. I feel like he's going to hurt him. Maybe in the second round. That's kind of the Mystic Mac call here. I definitely think he gets it done with a win. So he's a lock as far as the money line attack goes. Prop side of things, it's riskier playing the knockout, but I think it could hit. Over a round and a half, minus 275. I just don't like the over-unders here because Wineland, I think the chin is deteriorated and he's extremely hittable. Yes, there's a chance that Stamann just wrestles him for 3 rounds and we see a unanimous decision for Stamann. But there's also a chance that Wineland's standing up trying to strike and he gets caught with an overhand or a left hook, something, and gets put flat out. So I'm going to go Stamann for the win. I think he's a money line play. You could maybe attack the knockout, but I personally don't love any of the props on this fight. Stamann, parlay piece, money line, but he's a hideous wide line there. Hideous wide, but it is what it is. Let's keep running up. The next lock, feel better about this one as far as value side, but it's still ugly. There's still some ugly locks here. Phil Hawes over Deron Winn. It's because Phil Hawes is a more versatile fighter that I have him winning over Deron Winn. Wrestling for wrestling, I might lean it towards Deron Winn. He's short though, 5'6", 6-inch height advantage for Phil Hawes. Definitely explosiveness and power edge striking by a long shot. He's the more complete striker. Hawes is the more complete fighter, but Deron Winn is game, tough, and he's gritty, man. He's going to come forward. He's going to try to wrestle his ass off. I don't think he has a ton of success wrestling Phil Hawes. I'm not saying he doesn't land takedowns, but I don't see him controlling and beating him up. On the feet, Hawes has a clear-cut advantage. He's definitely more explosive and faster, and I actually see him hurting and sleeping Deron Winn. Phil Hawes, minus 260 range is the favorite. I also think the knockout is going to come through. I see him getting a KO. Phil Hawes by KO, plus 155. I think Hawes by KO could definitely be a casher. Under 2.5 rounds, minus 115. Don't love it as much, but definitely possible play. Under 2.5, under 1.5, plus 160. I don't like that one. The under and overs are a little trickier in this spot, but I do think Hawes gets a finish. Front kicks up the center, straight shots down the line, I think are what's going to hurt Deron Winn. And I don't feel like Deron Winn is going to have a ton of success wrestling. He'll land some takedowns, possibly, but Hawes is going to be there, and the stand-up level difference is absolutely clear. And it's not like Deron Winn brings that Chris Curtis KO power in stand-up game. He's more pure wrestling based with okay hooks from the close range. I see Phil Hawes by KO from distance, and I'm going Hawes knockout plus 155 as a quality prop and a good money line attack as well. Phil Hawes for the win and a confident lock at that. The next is going to be, and this is the final lock of the card, it's Kyle Darkis over Roman Dalitze. Dalitze is not a terrible fighter, but definitely doesn't make the most intelligent decisions in the cage. Good grappling game, but Darkis is a tricky grappler, and he has better stand-up. When you get 2 good grapplers, a lot of the times the grappling will cancel one another out, and I think Darkis on the feet has the better kickboxing. I feel like he's going to look solid from distance striking. He trains with his brother Chris, who's got really good hands. The range around minus 230 best value, but more around the minus 250 range for Kyle Darkis as the favorite. I'm liking the over 2.5, minus 150. I'm liking Darkis to win via decision, plus 160. I see Darkis getting his hand raised by decision, to be honest, guys. I think that's the most likely method of victory. I see him beating Roman Dalitze here, who doesn't make great decisions. There's going to be moments where Dalitze may have control against the cage, maybe even lands a couple takedowns. I don't see him doing anything significant from the top position. I see Darkis getting up, and I see Darkis more dangerous with the stand-up, landing more significant strikes, and getting his hand raised. Kyle Darkis for the win as a lock over Roman Dalitze. Those are the locks for this UFC card, and I do think there's some quality ones. Now it's time to talk some dogs. If you guys haven't, also smash the like button, show some support to the channel. And if you're new, subscribe. Keep it locked in here at MMA Experts. And let's talk the dogs on this UFC Austin card, which is straight heat. Dog number one, I'm going Joe Lauzon over Cowboy Cerrone. I cannot trust Cowboy Cerrone at this time. And early, when this fight was originally announced, the first breakdown, I was kind of leaning Cowboy, but not confidently. Now, dog money, Cowboy having this much time to think about the fight, nerves or something that gets to him, a guy who tends to underperform, I couldn't back him with any money. So personally, Lauzon as a dog attack seems like the smartest play. He's plus 145 range as an underdog. That's quality value for J-Lo. I do think this fight ends inside of the distance, so the under 2.5 around the minus 165 range. You do see a plus 130 tag at SII. I wonder if that's accurate. Somebody probably check that out if you have that bookie, if you're signed up there. I like the under, though. I think we're going short here. I think we're going 2 rounds or less, more than likely. And I think Lauzon's pressure early could be a problem. Cowboy is known as a terribly late starter. He always struggles early. Lauzon is going to come out fast. I know he's been out for a while too, but it's a lot of ifs in this fight. And when there's a lot of ifs, you have to go dog. I'm going Joe Lauzon, win, knockout. Looking at Lauzon by KO, the line for that sitting upwards of plus 400 best value, plus 350 there at BetOnline. Lauzon by sub plus 700. Lauzon just inside of the distance isn't actually a bad tag at all, sitting at around plus 250. I like Joe Lauzon a ton to win inside the distance here. Who knows? You could catch Cerrone on the ground as well. I don't think Cerrone deserves his favorite status. Also cutting to 155. I know people are thinking maybe this will be, Cowboy better at 155. I think he could look worse. The durability's not there at 170 with a minimal weight cut. Fighting a guy down a weight class limits your durability a bit, so the power will equal out. Like, look at the Alex Morono fight. I see Lauzon doing the same thing. I think so. I really believe so. I think Cerrone's going to struggle in there. Sadly, I love Cowboy, but I love Lauzon too. Lauzon, win, and I'm going to call knockout, but definitely could see the inside the distance as a better play. He's a great value underdog to start things off with the dog side of things, man. Love Joe Lauzon. Let's go to the next one. It is Joaquin Buckley at plus 205 over Albert Duraev. Duraev is like Chimaev light. He doesn't have the striking, and he doesn't really have the wrestling nor the top pressure of that level. He's decent, but I'm not super impressed. I didn't like what I saw in the debut against Kopylov. Kopylov's tough for sure. Solid kickboxing, but to me, I didn't like it. And I think striking, Buckley can sleep him. Biggest concern, can Buckley stop the takedowns? He's known for okay takedown defense, but he can get caught with takedowns. Does he get controlled? Does he find his way back up? I think his athleticism can lead him to being hard to take down, being harder to control on the ground, and standing, boxing. I feel like Buckley's going to land a bomb and sleep Duraev, who has been dropped before. We've seen him hurt in the past. We saw him hurt against Kopylov. Then he gets hurt here. I think Buckley knocks him out. I'm liking Buckley around the plus 200 range as the underdog. Buckley to win by KO TKO line sitting at plus 275, so it's definitely not great. I prefer just money lining it up at near plus 200. Bet online plus 205. I think that's a great play. Under 2.5 rounds, minus 150. I don't think it's a bad idea either. And I see Buckley getting the KO, upsetting Duraev, killing the hype train, really. Excited for this fight, though. Minus 150, under 2.5 is also a pretty solid attack because there is a shot that Duraev gets a sub. It's not impossible if he's on top. Maybe land some ground and pound. But if Duraev was to win, I will tell you, I do kind of see decision. For that reason, I'll say Duraev by decision line. I'll read it out. Plus 260 at best value. I like Joaquin Buckley, win, KO TKO, and I think he looks pretty damn good doing it in an upset against the game Albert Duraev. Let's keep running through these dogs. The next one, I love this next one. Garam Kutateladze versus Damir Ismagulov. Kutateladze, Hamzat's boy, so obviously he's my guy too. Garam's tricky to deal with, solid takedown defense. He's quick, good stand-up game, good overall. Garam's well-rounded, man, well-conditioned. Damir Ismagulov, known for gassing later in fights. I think Garam can take advantage and win a hard-fought decision. I see this as an extremely competitive fight and one that I actually cannot wait to see because I think you're looking at two guys that have serious potential to break into the top 15 and make waves at least towards the back end of the 155-pound ranking side of the weight class, the top 15. I see these guys as top. I'm going Garam for the upset, though. He's sitting at plus 136. Ismagulov's no easy out. I think we're going long. Over 2.5 rounds, minus 210. I'm calling a lock here. I think this fight's going the full. Fight goes distance, minus 180, very confident. If I'm going Dalitze, I'm going money line, but just for the hell of it, let's talk props. Dalitze to win by decision, he's upwards of plus 365. I'm going Garam, I'm going him to win via decision, and I think he's a good money line underdog attack, but that over 2.5 rounds, I'm telling you guys, is a fantastic play and a parlay piece that we'll be talking about towards the end. Good stuff. Great stuff, really. Let's get to the final dog that I'm really feeling on this card here. The next and final dog is going to be Julian Marquez over Gregor Rodriguez. Note, Gregor Rodriguez did take this fight on short notice. He's coming off a recent loss against Armen Petrosian. Julian Marquez is never an easy out. He's getting his rhythm back, I feel. I think it's a hard fight for Gregory, guys. I really do. Gregor Rodriguez hits like a tank, 100%. Absolute power in the hands. Excellent Brazilian jiu-jitsu. He's tricky as hell on the ground. But Julian Marquez, his game with his wrestling, has a solid jiu-jitsu game as well. His stand-up is slick. I like his straight punches. He's got tricky boxing to deal with, man. And I think Gregor Rodriguez is hittable with straight punches. His head's there. And I feel like Marquez is going to shock people and knock him out. He's sitting around plus 155. Best value plus 155 at my bookie as the favorite. Or excuse me, as the underdog. He's my favorite, though. He's my pick. I think he's going to knock Gregory Rodriguez out. And I'm a big fan of Gregory Rodriguez. I'm not going to lie to you guys, but I have picked against him in his last one, and I'm picking against him here. I think that Julian Marquez upsets him and puts him to bed. I don't like to use MMA math or whatever, but look at the straight punch that was landed by Jordan Williams. Could Marquez not do the same? I believe he can. I think he can do the same and more. I think he's going to knock Gregor Rodriguez out. Fight to end inside of the distance, or Marquez wins inside distance, plus 300. Marquez by KO TKO, around plus 400. I like Julian Marquez getting the hand raised by KO. I see him touching up the chin of Gregor Rodriguez and sleeping him. I definitely think under 2.5 rounds is a valuable play, around minus 145. Fight ends inside of the distance, minus 175. I like what I'm going to see, man. I'm going Julian Marquez to win, and I think he's going to look damn good doing it and upset Gregor Rodriguez in what should be an absolute barn burner of a fight. I am definitely looking forward to this matchup. This card overall is one that I'm really looking forward to. I think we got great dogs, great locks. I do want to talk some extra props. There's not a ton that I want to talk about, but one is going to be Gloria Di Paula to win, and I am going to say by knockout over Mariah Oliveira. Not a sure thing. Don't have her as a lock, but I do think she gets it done. The money line is ugly here, and it's women's MMA, but Di Paula by KO is sitting at plus 600. If you're looking for a wide prop that could come through, I think that is a good addition to play, and something definitely to consider if you're looking to prop attack. Now, there's other plays that maybe you like here. You're thinking that you want to play an over. Something we didn't talk about is Ricardo Hamosh and Danny Chavez. I think Hamosh is going to get the win, but I don't feel confident in his fight IQ to consider him a lock. But I do think the fight's going longer here. Over 2.5 rounds, minus 185 for Hamosh and Danny Chavez, I think is a likely outcome for these two. Chavez is not going to be an easy dog, though. He's big plus money. I'm not going to be surprised when people attack that dog, and I wouldn't be shocked if he cashes. Granted, I'm a fan of Hamosh. I think he does have the skill set to win, but will he on fight night? A lot of question marks about him. Don't have the confidence to include him in the lock section by any means, but over 2.5 at minus 185, I think is a pretty good play. And the next one is going to be Jasmine Jasudavicius taking on Natalia da Silva. Jasudavicius money line, minus 233. I am pretty confident she wins, but I wasn't feeling her as a lock. Over 2.5 rounds, minus 210, I believe should come through. I really do believe it should come through. Jasudavicius should get the W too, but it's a lot of unknowns about da Silva, and I don't want to bank everything on Jasudavicius, a young fighter, saying she's an absolute lock, but she should win. So if you want a money liner, I don't think it's a terrible idea. I do think over 2.5 at minus 210. Jasudavicius to win by decision, it's really not a great line at all, but you can find it upwards of plus 110. That's okay. Jasudavicius getting the hand raised, though. I see her doing her thing. I like her getting the win. But over 2.5, I think is a better bet, or maybe just sit out on that one. Those are kind of the extra props that I felt needed to be addressed that we didn't talk about, and I think there's value in each one of them. Let's jump to the final section, the parlays. If you guys have not yet, make sure to smash the hell out of the like button. First one we're going to list off is a wide one. It is Calvin Kattar, Kevin Holland, the over 2.5 rounds for Ismagulov and Goram Kutteladze and Joaquin Buckley, plus 185 Buckley as a dog. So this is a big attack. Plus 700 value. If you're looking for a Hail Mary, this is one of the Hail Mary plays that I included to start things out, man. I got to start it with the heat, but let me take it out. Just this 3-fight play, Kattar, Holland, and the over 2.5 for Kutteladze and Ismagulov, plus 181. I think this is a pretty high likelihood casher, guys. I feel like this is a quality play if you're looking for one. If you're like, listen, I don't want to play the overs, I'm not a fan of doing that, no problem. We'll take it out and we'll add in somebody else, because I mean, this 2-fighter play, Holland and Kattar, definitely doable at minus 107, but maybe not your favorite. I want to add some more juice to it. So if I want to add something to it, you could add Yanez in, brings you to plus 158. I do think this is pretty likely to come through. I think there's a high possibility. Maybe you said I want Phil Hawes, which he is on and off sometimes, but he definitely should get it done. Plus 257. Now we're kind of going like big favorite attacks, but they are locks. If you added in Kyle Darkis, minus 240, plus 406, 5-fighter play, still plus 400 money, and I do think it is a fair possibility casher. But if you don't want to have that many fighters on your play, you definitely don't need to. You can take Yanez out as well, and we'll clean the slate here and come up with something maybe a little more exciting. You want Joe Lozon as a dog on there. You want to go Kattar, Holland, and Joe Lozon, plus 374. I definitely think that could be a casher. If you're not even feeling Joe Lozon, attacking him straight money line, you could maybe play the under 2.5 to bring you near plus 200 value on this fight. And if you like the under there and the over on the Ismagulov-Kutteladze fight, plus 334. Like, there's a lot of ways you can attack these parlays. If you keep it around that plus 2 to 300 range, I think your likelihood of cashing definitely is a lot higher than if you go nuts with it. I mean, we can always go nuts with it, and we have plenty of times. But most likely cashers are smarter plays here. I'm trying to see, is there something that I want to add in that we could do? Like, do we want to go a little bit crazy here? I know Court McGee wasn't one of the picks that we included, but I do like Court McGee to win. That's something I wanted to know. I didn't note him in the prop section because there's not really a prop I like there. I mean, I do think Court McGee wins a decision, so I guess we'll talk about it as an extra prop. So for the people that stuck around, that's why you stick around for the whole video, because you get some things included at the end. McGee to win a decision. What is it? Around plus 175, plus 140. I don't love it. Court McGee could be a piece if you're looking for something that's close money. Plus 255 if you did include him. But Jeremiah Wells is a difficult fight for Court McGee, 100%. And if Court was a dog, I mean, we'd be all over him in the dog section. And he was when I did the full card breakdown on Sunday. But now the line has shifted. You add in Stamen, you're not getting much back. I don't think it's really worth it to add Stamen in. I kind of like Holland, Yanez, and Kattar the best. And then if you're like, okay, let's add in the Ismagulov-Kutteladze fight, plus 275. Like, I think this is just a quality play if you're looking to avoid substantial risk. And now if you want to get riskier, you add in Lozon, you're getting plus 819 money. If you want to go absolutely crazy here and you want to just go dog city, you add in Buckley, plus 2,520. That's crazy line. You got 2 dogs on the main card. Definitely possible that they hit. At this point, I'm just curious about this plus 6,450. If these dogs all came through and you played this right here, Kattar, Holland, Yanez, over 2.5, Ismagulov and Kutteladze, Joe Lozon, Joaquin Buckley, and Julian Marquez, plus 6,450. This is the craziest parlay possible. It's 3 dogs in it. Likelihood, come on, man, it's the fight game. These are all picks. These are official things that I'm believing happens, but it's the fight game. It's a fight game. That's why it's plus 6,450. We'll see what happens on Fight Night. I mean, maybe it ends up coming through and I get the Mystic Mac call of the fucking year. So note that one down. Maybe throw a couple dollars at it. I will be, because I'm damn curious if I can pull off some crazy ass W with that. If you went Kattar, Holland, over 2.5, Ismagulov and Kutteladze, and then Lozon, plus 589. If you want to just stick it on the main card. Good parlays to play. Be cautious with them, as I always say. I'm very excited for this card. I got the money line dropping tomorrow with my guy Mike Finch. Cannot wait for that show. I hope you guys enjoyed another episode of this week's Best MMA Bets. We talked about this fantastic UFC Austin card, which I really believe is going to bring the heat. I feel like we got a fun card in store. I hope you guys enjoyed, If you haven't yet, make sure to smash the hell out of the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn those post notifications on, and share the video as well. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you don't have anything to say, but you just enjoy the content, drop a W in the chat to pump the algorithm for your boy. Much love, my people. I will see you all in the next one. Peace, guys.